Hello, my fellow Minecrafter. How are you today? Glad you joined us here. Uh, Us? No, it's just me. Yep, nobody else is here. It's just me. Anyway, glad you stopped by. So today, I've decided I want to try something different than I've done before. I mean, I have done it, but I haven't recorded any videos and put them out there. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to build a Redstone computer. And so the whole point of this is I call it my Redstone Computer Challenge. Now, why do I call it the Redstone Computer Challenge? Well, let me tell you. So first of all, I just want to give you a quick rundown of Redstone. So Redstone first appeared in Minecraft in alpha version 1.0.1, way back in 2010. I didn't even have Minecraft at the time. I didn't get Minecraft till a few years later for sure. And probably right from the start, around that time, same time, maybe a year later, that's when I first started seeing a lot of Redstone computers on YouTube. A lot of them are 5 and 6 and 7 years old, and it got me interested because I guess at the heart of things, I'm a computer geek, and I've been working in computers for many years, and I've kind of dabbled in programming and stuff like that, but I've never gotten into the sort of the bits and bytes of, the inner workings of how a computer works. And so after watching several videos of computers, Redstone computers, I've been practicing it myself, and I've been playing around with it for a couple of years. So this is the first time I decided that, you know what, I'm gonna try to create a video series of this, and just to see, what people think. I mean, I'm always just interested in what people think of the videos that I put out. And so it's just something I want to try. So now when I say challenge, I'll go through what I mean by challenge, because it sounds like, oh, okay, this is not just challenging me to make a computer. There's a little bit more to this. And what I mean by that is there's only three redstone items that I want to use in this whole computer. Obviously, we need the redstone dust, that's our wires. We need redstone torches because they do provide power to our redstone dust. And then we need repeaters so that we can extend the length of the wires. Uh, my redstone dust only has a distance of 15 blocks before it runs out. Now I could use mods to maybe combat that, but I want to try to do this as vanilla as possible. And so the biggest challenge that I'm wanted to get through was number one, no comparators. Comparators are great for when you want to use them as a device maybe you're creating in a Minecraft world or something like that. That's fine. I'm not against it. But in this system, if I want a comparator, I actually have to build a comparator out of these three items. Now, we probably won't need to do that very often because we're not working with sort of voltage and grounding and things like that. We don't have to worry about that. And I'll get into a little bit more detail about that later. And number one is no pistons. When I've been viewing a lot of the Minecraft Redstone computers, I saw lots of people use pistons. No, I'm not knocking them for it. They have their reasons, and they have a good function when it comes to using pistons in their computers. That's okay. Personally, for myself, I look at it this way, that a digital circuit transistor, as an example, does not have moving parts, and I look at the piston as being a moving part. Even though it's a small moving part, it's still a moving part to my thinking. Okay, so I'm eliminating pistons from my computer. The other thing I don't want to have is torch. torch towers. So what's a torch tower? I'll show you what I mean by a torch tower, and you probably understand very easily about what I mean because I built these in um, you know many different worlds to help power certain things. So this is kind of what I mean by a torch tower. So what you have here is yeah, I think I had that right. Is you basically got a torch that's telling the next block not the fire and so on and so on and they keep going up and up and up and stuff like that and they can be on the sides and you know that kind of thing. And you can have them like this. And I built lots of these in the world, so they're absolutely fine. Just in my computer challenge, I don't want to use them. Now the other probably biggest challenge, I think, is limiting the amount of layers. So right off the bat, as you can see, this torch tower here is, that's a lot of layers. So I mean, right off the bat, we're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're 10 layers, and I've seen other computers that are just massive in size. So that's not what I want to do in this challenge. So I say I want to limit mine to about 5 or 7 layers. Even seven is pushing it a little bit, but that's partly due to the fact that if I have a block here with some redstone dust on it, my next block is going to be obviously right there because I need to have that clearance for this block. So, and I also have to be careful too when I use um, repeaters or because they power the whole block. So this whole block becomes powered. And I'll show you what I mean here by just doing this. And you can see now that's being powered. And we got to be careful when we do this because anything next to it, such as a torch placed right on it, is not going to get powered. So we have to be careful with that kind of thing. So anyway, that's what I mean by limiting how many layers that I want. Because if you've seen um, computers, if you've ever seen what a CPU looks like, I know some of you probably haven't seen what they look like. They're very flat. And then when you get down into the sort of microscopic level of a CPU circuit, it's very, very small. And we're talking uh, nanometers here between the layers and between each of the circuits. So they're very small and very flat. And it's just through the combination of the chemicals that are being used that produces the type of voltage transfer that they want. Voltage high, voltage low, those kinds of things. Um, I will probably touch on those as we're going. So this will be a bit of a learning thing as well. So I'll be learning as I go. This is not me being a computer architectural expert in any way. I don't have that knowledge. I'm learning. I'm getting better as I learn and I study it. So really, it's going to be just you and I going through it together, building circuits and bringing all the circuits together to create a computer. Now, is it I know some people are going to say that hey, isn't it just a glorified calculator that can add one and two? Um, yeah, kinda. It will be like that, but think about it this way. When you look back at, um, computer, calculators from like say 30 or 40 years ago. I mean, we never actually asked about how they work. We were just happy to have one in our possession because then it can calculate not just the basics, but it can do some of the more complex equations that we know can be challenging to the human brain for some. And I tell you, I'm not one of those people that has a computer brain. I can tell you, mine is terrible. But I'm really getting into all of this knowledge about computers and bits and bytes and all that kind of thing. So eventually, the end of this will be where we're not just punching in, please, tell the computer I want to go, 7 plus 5 equals whatever. I want to do it a little bit differently where I'm actually writing a program that will do that for me step by step. Now we just think, add 5 to 7, but a computer needs a lot more information to know, well, what does that mean when you say you want me to add 7 plus 5? So we have to instruct the computer on each of the steps that it takes. So there's a lot of steps in there. Now they happen in a real computer. They happen very rapidly. We're talking in half a blink of an eye, and of course they can do more complex calculations, just as fast. So it's not always about just being able to flick a bunch of knobs and it adds up a couple of numbers for us. We're actually going to be incorporating memory into this, and we will write a program that will go through all those steps, and it will be an assembly. And I will explain a little bit of what assembly is. And again, I will try to keep it simple. And I hope you will learn with me as we go, because that's what I want to do in this series. So I hope you stick around for the next episode. I will try and have these episodes come out as often as I can make them, and I certainly do look forward to any of your comments, positive, negative, whatever they happen to be, or just questions about computers. And like I say, I will stress I am in no way a computer expert in the architecture of these things, but I am learning, and I believe I am getting better and better as time goes by. So that'll be it for now. In the next episode, what I will show you is what are logic gates, and what logic gates are and what they do in a computer, and also then how they conform to a Redstone computer and what they look like. So I hope to see you again in the next episode.